respect, etc., etc. So I'm gonna be honest. I want to be clear. Red pill is more so a science, and you come to that science and say, "Hey, I want to know how to lose weight. Here's the data to how to lose weight. I want to know how to marry a woman. Here's the data to what happens when you marry a woman versus when you don't. I want to F a lot of women. Here's the data with that."
Okay.
What are your thoughts?
Well, I mean, that's great.
But?
Data and all, right. There's always a but.
Always a but.
There's always a but. Trying to, like, process everything you're saying to make sure I answer them with something that makes sense.
Take your time.
It's like...
We got till 9:45.
Okay, if you're like this data that you're collecting, if you're like if it's mainly men want to F girls, sure.
I'm assuming
like,
that. I'm just assuming that.
Right.
But
like,
come on now. Like, yeah.
I mean, I'm not understanding the overall point of the red pill. Like, what's the bread and butter? Maybe you can tell me that so I can better make an argument, because you're saying like we're collecting this data about these different fields. But within these different fields, some of them are contradictory, right? Like how to fuck a bunch of girls and how to get married to a woman that's of virtue, not the same. So it's like, how are you teaching these things based off data points and saying you can come here for all this same information? But it's like even the guys who are leading the movement that I've seen aren't doing anything that you would view like worth the while. And in addition to that, oops, sorry.
No, you
Sorry. In addition to that, it's like there's so much to unpack here.
No, yeah, that's the point of the show. Let's unpack it. But before you continue on going, again, so I would look at it as this: it's specific data that's niched down to men. That's how I would look at it.
So it's like for men, like a men hub.
I wouldn't say it's for men, but right now, as it stands, it's for men. So just like, for example, science encompasses everything. Like literally everything that you can think of. You can talk about rocks. You can talk about this camera. You can talk about losing weight. You can talk about anything. Red pill is just niched down to the things that's most important to men.
Okay.
That's all it is.
That's
what it is right now, at least.
Okay.
That's the best way I can explain it.
What I was thinking about was the fact that, okay, it's niched down to men, but then, like, the front lines, because this is what gets the views, this is what gets the attraction, is the women, right? Yeah. The women this, the women that, all about the women. But then, like, you teach
if I'm holding men accountable, come on now.
Y'all gotta be real. Like,
I gotta be real. It is mostly about the women.
It's about the women.
Yeah.
So then, if you have this pocket of men, right. You have this pocket of men who are now attracted. Maybe these are the guys. It's just assumptive because I don't know the data or the metrics behind these guys. But I'm gonna assume maybe like quieter guys, people who haven't always had the best luck with women. That's why they're on YouTube. Because let's be real, people in the real world. I mean, I'm sorry. I hate to be the one to bite your bullet. You guys are gonna hate me in the comments, but people in the real world who are succeeding at this, they're not looking at this.
They're not looking at what?
They're not looking at this red pill. How to fuck bitches.
Rephrase that sentence first before I disagree.
Okay. Men who are in the real world thriving, right? Based off community, based off what they've learned, based off of mentorship, based off of real things to know how to navigate in this world. They're not necessarily on the internet trying to learn about, in particular, red pill in relation to women. Like, they are not. That's like saying the top 10% people are on dating apps. They're not. Yeah. So newsflash, a lot of the guys who are coming into this movement are already insecure. Maybe, and if they're not insecure, you guys are in a place in your life where you want to grow. More power to you.
You could.
But like if you want to grow, but then where you're learning from is not, it's not good. Like the overall moral is like you're attracting what you want. So like these guys are on the red pill that a lot of these young men run into are like, yeah, you need to screw all these women. And then you have this perception of women, well, these women are hoes, right? Because you're out here screwing a bunch of hoes. And if that's the little atmosphere you're in, this little bubble, this echo chamber of confirming what I already believe and all that you believe is skewed, you're in trouble. And instead of helping you, it's hurting you.
Okay, hold on. Let's go point by point. Like I said, I want to keep going point by point. So about the notion about effing a lot of hoes. Okay. I think you were referring to when Myron says some shit like you gotta fuck like 50 bitches to know women. That's just factually true. And
Ew.
here's why.
Okay.
Here's why.
Okay.
And now it is contradictory if you want to get a wife and you yourself as a virgin and you want to find a virgin woman, etc. Cool. Then be on that path. Have that path. It's gonna be hard as fuck for you to find one, but
Right.
stay in your thing.
Yeah.
But if you want to deal yourself in the dating marketplace of what we have in today, I gotta be honest. Most women are hoes. Most women are fucking 10, 20, 30 men. Point blank. They may not say it. They may not showcase it, etc., but they actually do. So if you are a man and you're trying to be, I guess, the best position, put yourself in the best position for another woman to like you, for another woman to care about you, want to see you, respect you, etc., you have to kind of have more competency in all areas that she values. Sex, money, status, charisma, competency, etc., etc., etc. That's why he gives that advice.
Okay.
So can you see it from not even can you see it from that perspective? I understand why he would give that advice. Is it good advice? Who's to say? I personally think that it is if you are dealing with the modern woman. If it's not the modern woman and you're dealing with a woman that has 4 bodies, 0 bodies, etc., that's terrible advice, obviously. But if it's advice for the modern woman, I think that is solid advice.
I think it's terrible advice.
Why?
I'm gonna tell you why. It's
Talk to
because I think it leaves people jaded. I think instead of putting you in a position where you know what woman is what because you slept with so many, the only thing it's taught you is how to have sex, right? And like, all I'm saying is that's not the most valuable thing.
Well, hold on. Well, one point by point. So,
Yeah.
you said all it taught you is how to have sex.
Yeah,
That's incorrect.
Well, okay.
So it's body language, it's cues, it's not being weird, it's not being a creep.
Well, then when do you stop? That's my problem, right? This becomes like an addictive cycle because then you're gonna develop a cynical ideology towards women where, oh, I did this with the last girl, they're all the same. Oh, I did this with the last girl, they're all the same. Oh, I did this with the last girl, they're all the same. Which one's different? But instead, you're just picking the same girl and doing the same thing over and over and claiming it's helping you. Where have you been helped? Like, what is it that you want? Do you want to just be some lonesome guy for the rest of your life who just walk around, can say you have a body count of an Asian, a Hispanic, a black, and a white? I mean, like, what's your...
Asian, Hispanic, you got all the colors of the rainbow.
Yeah, it's like, what...
That's funny. Yeah.
At that point, what's your objective?
Yeah.
Right? Like, girls are going to be girls. But,
Okay, so
you know,
I think here's the objective, and if I'm being completely honest, I think the objective is experience, point blank, period. Like, when you're a woman and you're 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, you have all of these different people coming to you, all of these opportunities, you probably sleeping with multiple men, etc. You are having your fun in the world. Okay. When men get to that age of like 30 to 40, that's when they start to actually have their own place, their own car. They really are in their bag at that point. Right. So then they now want to test those superpowers. Okay. They now want to have sex with multiple, etc., etc. And then they be like, you know what? I actually don't like when a woman does that. I do like when a woman does this. I don't like when a woman does that. And then you're more likely to find someone that you're compatible with versus you not having the experience to even have the knowledge of that.
Okay, that's an interesting point, but I think, I've got to find the statistics for you.
Talk to me.
But the more sexual partners you have, the harder it becomes to properly pair bond when you get married. So a lot of those people...
For women more so than men, but yes.
Okay, yeah. I think...
No, it's for sure. We can look it up right now. It's for women more so, but it's for both. Yes.
It's for both. Okay, but women more so. Sure. Yes. So on both parties, both sides are wrong for this. But the more people you sleep with, then you finally wake up and say, oh, I want to settle down. Well, now your marriage is going to have all these other, I won't get into like spiritual beliefs or religion, but all of these other attachments that people come into marriage with, all these jaded feelings.
Do you think marriage is the end goal for men now?
I think for a virtuous man, a man who has his head on his shoulders, correctly, it should be.
Why?
Well, because my personal belief, right? I'm a Christian. I'm going to put that out there for y'all.
Talk to us.
But, when it comes to reproducing for the earth, right, you should probably get married to one woman. When it comes to raising a family, this is just my personal
No, I got you.
This is just my personal opinion. That doesn't mean you're only going to experience one woman in your entire life, right? But when it comes to long-term, building a legacy and having children and having business and passing down family heirlooms and having real power in society and economic status, that would come from having a wife, right? People in business. In particular, I'm in business myself. Like, people in business are more respected. when they have a wife, right? They get paid more when they're married.
Mm.
Like these statistics that'll help your career, right, comes from marriage. Your end goal should be to have love, someone to have your back, someone to be there for you when you're sick. Kids, like all these things are blessings.